How we do, folks? Your boy Marks 1205 numbers after the name. Games beat in action. We on the moon, baby. Final Fantasy 4 goes places. I can tell you that right now. So we beat 1 and 2, which are on the NES, even though I played them on the Game Boy Advance, on the Analog Pocket. 3 I have on the DS, and I played a long time ago, and I've been debating whether I actually beat it or not, and maybe I'm going to go back to that DS kind of remake, or maybe I'll play the original NES version, but I don't know. I'm pretty confident I beat it at some point, or maybe I was like at the last boss, and it was just one of those where you fought the boss for an hour, and you managed to die right at the end, and you're like, ah. I was like, I really don't want to go through this again. That may have been the situation. Either way, though, Final Fantasy 4 was the next one up here. We're playing through the analog. First foray, I believe, into the Super Nintendo era for Final Fantasy. I'm playing this on the Game Boy Advance once again, playing it on the Analog Pocket, which I can't stress enough how good of a purchase that was. And it was happenstance, it was random. I just literally decided one day to buy one, and they happened to be in stock, and that's it. But it's so easy to just play a game like Final Fantasy using the Game Boy Advance on it. And yeah, you can just play it. You can save state away too, which is pretty clutch for like times where you're just like, you know, life happens, right? Especially some of these like boss fights where like, man, they could go on minutes, especially if you don't fully know what you're doing, like I'm doing. I would sometimes just save state in the middle of it and be like, I gotta come back to this at some point. Like life is happening right now, and I gotta go do that. So either way, you go back to kind of more traditional job system in this game. The story is kind of weird, like I just said. You're on the moon. But it's pretty good. It's a really good game. I don't think it's better than the rest of the Super Nintendo ones we'll get to in a couple weeks, but it's a big step up from 2. I like it more probably than I like 1, but I've never been the biggest fan of the original NES Final Fantasies. It's just one of those that I'm not going to say that they're dated, but they feel a little more dated. And this one, to me, feels a little more plug and play, a little bit easier to kind of jump into, and a lot more optionality when it comes to equipment and jobs and all that kind of stuff. So overall, I would definitely play all the Final Fantasies from Super Nintendo onward, even though I don't know if I've played. I guess I've gotten through 4 through 8. I don't know, that with 9 and 10, so can't get recommendations on there. But either way, really good game.